Still, this here is part of our stallion complex. There's a couple of our stallion stables here where we are. And this gentleman here actually is octagonal.
This is octagonal here?
Yeah. So you've probably no doubt heard about him. So
I sure have. We've got octagonal looking at us, just poking his nose through here, through the bars. Beautiful horse, isn't he?
He's a lovely animal, there's no doubt about that. He's so kind, and you can understand when you know the horse as we do, you get very, very attached to them. And as you probably saw in his racing career, he really becomes the public's horse.
Do you want to say hello, octagonal? He's a very curious animal as well, isn't he?
Yes, they certainly are, and they're all a little bit like that. And as they sort of get to know you, you get to know them. They like to sort of see what's going on. In
round figures, what has he earned over his career?
He won around about, I think, about $6 million on in racing, but since he's gone to stud, his service fee is $50,000. And if you sort of look at that, he's covering around about. Oh, he wants to have a say, I think.
He's scraping his teeth along the bars here.
So he generates quite a lot of income on his service fees at the stud, and he's podding you now on the racetracks and that sort of thing as well.
So $50,000 a stand?
Yes, that's right. If you can get that, you're doing well. You'll be able to retire tomorrow from your duties.
What's your feeling towards this horse? You've seen him from beginning to now.
Oh, he's become, he's sort of become part of the family, because even though the horse was not actually bred here, we did purchase him. Mr. Ingham purchased him in New Zealand as a yearling, and he raced for us in his racing career, and he's really part of the family.
You couldn't exist here without the river that runs right through the middle of the property. Have you seen it change over time?
Oh yes, I've seen quite a few changes in it, and as you said, you can't exist. I mean, to do without water in virtually any situation, particularly an agricultural situation like this, it's a bit like trying to live without blood in your veins, I think. As I said earlier, we have seen a change, and it's probably to do with the use of on the rivers, and what the requirements are these days, just from the point of view of whether it be the farming aspect of it, or the commercial sort of enterprises now that are run on and off the rivers. As you well know, it's a big coal mining area in the Hunter. I mean, obviously they've got a very, very big requirement on the water systems as well.
You're down below the Goulburn River. The Goulburn River joins the Hunter a few kilometres upstream. Does that make much of a difference here?
It does affect it quite a bit. It certainly, the effects come when you get rises in the river or floods. We get a lot of sand coming out of the Goulburn River if we get a flood out of the Goulburn. And whereas up the Hunter itself, because it's got a lot more gravel based, and we don't get anywhere near the sand down the river. We have seen here on the bridge like up to 2 metres of sand left by the Goulburn River at various times, but if it comes down first, well, it'll leave it there, and if the Hunter comes down after, it takes it away.
2 metres of sand?
Yeah.
So what'll happen is you'll get a flood from the Goulburn River first, and then maybe one will follow from the Hunter?
Yeah, it depends purely where the rain has fallen and when, because the time frame for the water to come from sort of up the Hunter from the Murrundi area to come down to affect us, as opposed to the time to come down the Goulburn River, sort of out towards the Widden area and that sort of thing. So it just depends where the rain fell and what one's going to get down here first. If they both arrive at the same time, well, that's when we do see quite a big flood then. But if they come down at probably some hours, 6 or 8 hours apart, you'll get a peak from one or the other, then the other one will follow on after it.
Does it mean anything to you, the river?
Oh God, yes. I think most people, I don't think it really matters where you come from, what you're involved in. I think a lot of people look at rivers and streams and water in a fairly special light, really. And it certainly means so much to anyone that lives on the land and that type of thing, or whether you actually use it directly out of the river or not is really, I think, quite immaterial. But to have that sort of water around and access to that is enormous. And as we sort of have seen just lately in the drought situations, I mean, there's a lot of people that sort of are really destitute through lack of water and no water available. And we're very, very lucky to have these sort of water systems, river streams in our areas, and people should look after it and do the absolute very, very best to maintain it.